Switchcraft is recorded live 3 times a week on Tuesdays and Thursdays at 3 p.m. U.S. Eastern and on Saturday at whatever time I can get to it. Tune in live over at twitch.tv/runjumpstomp. This particular episode of Switchcraft is brought to you by Jared Hainline. Support Switchcraft and my other content for as little as $1 by heading on over to patreon.com/runjumpstomp. All right, we'll stop that and name. We'll go patron. And we will save project as. Save as you go. Otherwise, you're going to be unhappy. Why is it not letting me save project as? Oof, man, that took a while. All right. NSC198. All right. Speedrun episode. We'll see. We'll see how I can do. Jay Hartley says, I have the SNES. I have one of those too. There's the Super Nintendo Classic. All right. Next. Episode 198 of Switchcraft is brought to you by Amazon Prime. I've been a member of Amazon Prime for a really long time. Things that we used to go to the store for, we now order on Amazon. It gets delivered 2 days later. They have a really good return policy, so anything that I'm not happy with, I just send it back to them. It doesn't cost me anything, and they give me my money back like as soon as they get the message from the pickup that it's been sent. In my opinion, it's one of the best subscriptions you can have, and you can try it out free for 30 days. That's 30 days of Amazon Prime for free. That's free shipping, Prime Music and Video. It comes with Twitch Prime. And best of all, if you sign up for Amazon Prime using my link, you will be supporting the show. So if you want to help out the show and check out Amazon Prime for a free month, head on over to runjumpstomp.com/Amazon Prime. Got that ad in under a minute. Sponsor. Save. Wyvern Ripsnarl says, I bought too much this week. Zelda Plus Bundle, Monster Hunter Ultimate Generation, Xenoblade DLC, and Paladins Founder Pack. Ouch. That is a lot of stuff, man. That is a lot of stuff. All right, we are coming up on episode 200, and if you are here for episode 200, which, if I'm doing everything right, episode 199 should be on Saturday. I'm going to have guests on there, N64 Josh and Lloyd Hannison. We're going to be talking about a complete wrap-up of everything E3. We're going to talk about that stuff on Saturday. Then next Tuesday, that would be Tuesday, let me look at my calendar. Tuesday the 19th would be episode 200. So if you are in attendance in the live chat during episode 200, I will be giving away $20 worth of eShop gift credit. This comes from @KillTheChickens on Twitter. They just sent me the gift card and said, hand it out on episode 200 to a random chatter. So again, if you want to join up for that, just go to twitch.tv/runjumpstomp. Join us, and we're going to have a bunch of fun. And sometime during the show, I will give out that that $20 eShop gift card. Speaking of giveaways, my podcast has been downloaded in the last 4 months over 200,000 times, and in order to celebrate that, I wanted to do a giveaway myself. The giveaway is running the full month of June, so there's plenty of time to get to join it. If you want to join the giveaway, go to runjumpstomp.com/giveaway. Once you're there, you can do the things that are listed at the site, like follow me on Twitch, subscribe on YouTube, all that stuff. And you can enter to win $60 worth of eShop credit. Again, that'll probably come in 2 cards, probably a 50 card and a 10 card, because when I thought of it, I was like, oh, $60, that's how much most games cost. I didn't think, I just assumed that they would have a $60 card, but they don't. But that's okay. We can figure all that out afterwards. Anyway, thank you guys for downloading the show that many times. You guys are amazing. Let's jump in to the news. All right, and save project. Actually, we'll name that giveaways and save. Anyone playing the Octo expansion, haven't had any time to check it out. Love my NES. I'm right there with you. I haven't had any time, and honestly, I haven't finished the original Splatoon 2 stuff, so I'm probably not going to be picking it up. All right, before we get into the news, while we were in the pre-show, somebody in chat, and honestly, I think it was Jay Hartley, somebody in chat said something about the NES Classic is supposed to be back in just 2 weeks. Now, I haven't had time to check it out, but the NES Classic is a fantastic little mini console if you want to play old Nintendo games. So it was really, really hard to find these back when they came out in 2016. So if you don't have one yet, I highly suggest that you start checking out our Discord. If you go to Discord, not Discord, if you go to runjumpstomp.com/Discord and join our Discord, in there is a channel called alerts or now in stock. Now there's a channel called Now in Stock, and nobody ever talks in that channel. Like, that's against the rules. You're not supposed to talk in that channel. The only thing that that channel is for is so if you see that something that is hard to find goes on sale, you post the link in there. Of course, after you've bought one for yourself, you post the link in there, and just about everybody has that channel unmuted so that if something comes out, that's how I was able to get my Super NES Classic, because people were posting the links in that Discord channel. So make sure you join our Discord and use that channel, and then you can find out where you can pick up your NES Classic for yourself. So now that we've got that out of the way, let's start with a story about Reggie Fils-Aimé. For those of you who don't know who he is, Reggie Fils-Aimé is the president of Nintendo of America, and he was talking to, I'm trying to see who it was, Bloomberg. He was talking to Bloomberg, and they were asking him a couple of questions, and I'm just going to give you a quick summary. There's a full video that you can watch if you want to know everything that he said. But he was asked about E3. He said, "We show content that is going to launch in the next 6 to 9 months and no more. We always have surprises. There's a lot more that we have to show in the weeks and months that are ahead." Nintendo Switch Online, he said, or he was asked, "Is the network structure going to improve?" He said, "Absolutely. We're learning the technical infrastructure. When we launch the game Mario Tennis Aces, it's going to perform just like it did for Fortnite." So I guess Fortnite has been pretty good. I haven't had any time to check it out because I've been too busy doing updates to the website and things like that, and of course my day job. So I guess Fortnite's launch must have been pretty good, and they learned a little bit from that tennis thing, and now they've got the Fortnite under their belt. And he says that when tennis launches, it's gonna go well. So we'll see. Knock on wood. He was asked about the 3DS. He said the 3DS is still thriving and growing. It's not going anywhere. And you know what? To be fair, I have been a big critic of Nintendo for still having the 3DS. I was of the mind that they should get rid of this thing. They should stop supporting it and make sure that all of the development moves over to the Nintendo Switch instead. And while I still hope that very little development comes here to the 3DS, I don't see anything wrong with them developing games for both systems. If anything can run on the Switch, it can definitely also run on the 3DS. It's the other way around. If they're going to design something for the 3DS, it should also come out on the Switch. That's what I meant to say. And overall, I think that the 3DS, if you don't have one, is a fantastic little handheld console, and it's one of my favorites of all time, and it has a ridiculously good library that there's just so many games for it. So if you don't already have one, I think that you should get one, just if you want to go out and get the all those used games that are already out there. You can get a lot of gameplay out of the 3DS. All right. He was asked about loot boxes. He said loot boxes, a gameplay mechanic that offers consumers something to buy, can be interesting as long as that's not the only way they can get the items. Some developers have made some mistakes. For us, it's one of many mechanics we can use to drive ongoing engagement in that game. So I think that the Nintendo, recently I've kind of, they've taken a beating from me about bringing loot boxes to things like Animal Crossing, and I hope that that's not a trend that we see going into other games. And he says that they don't want that as a mechanic unless you can also get those items some other way. I would say that it's a little too difficult to get those items from the Animal Crossing game some other way, just because of the way that the items disappear after a while. So I don't know that I agree that Nintendo is one of the best about that. I would prefer if they stay out of that altogether. But what can you say? And then when asked about esports, he said, we want to create content that makes professional players come together, create consistent rules and structure to encourage the community to go from there. All right, so for as far as Nintendo and esports, I think Nintendo has some pretty fantastic esports titles, but they don't leverage themselves in a way to really get the pros excited about that. And the reason I say that is because they don't have big cash prizes. Like there was, oh God, I can't remember off the top of my head. There was a really, really recently, it might have been Fortnite that had like prizes, or maybe it was Overwatch. There was some big name esports kind of game, and they had got, I think it was like $3 million or something like that, like set aside. They set aside a whole bunch of money for prize money for the winners of their esports stuff. And when you do that, when you put big prize pools out there, it makes it a lot more likely that pro players are going to be playing your game. And that means that those pro players are probably going to be streaming your game. And that's it. Res TV's got it. It was Fortnite pledged $100 million for 2018 prizes. Boy, I was definitely wrong about the number. So that's crazy. That means a lot of pro players are going to want to be playing that game, and they'll probably be streaming that game because they're pro players. And those pro players are going to have a big audience, and the big audience is going to watch them play, and then they're going to want to play. And think of it as an investment. Right now, like we just got done watching the Splatoon Invitational and the Smash Brothers Invitational, and I don't think that the winners got any money. That's crazy to me. Like, I don't think that they won any money. Sure, they got to fly out and hang out with Mr. Sakurai, or the guy that always does the weird Splatoon 2 poses when he talks. I'm sure that they got to meet those guys, and that's cool, and I would love to meet them. But if I were a pro player and I won a big tournament sponsored by the company who made the game, you would think that there would be a big prize pool. And that's kind of crazy that they don't do that. This is one thing where I think Nintendo falls down big time with esports. And I think Nintendo's esports titles like Smash and ARMS and Splatoon 2 and Mario Kart, like these could be huge titles. And yes, I know they are huge titles and that they make a lot of money for Nintendo, but they could be even bigger if Nintendo treated them and the esports community with the respect that they deserve. Anyway, I'm not going to say any more about that. Let's move on. All right. Reggie, my body is Reggie. Save. Epic also said they made more than 300 million in April. So yeah, they're not hurting. Whew, man, 300 million in April. That's 1 month. For those of you counting at home. Well, you just have a bunch of tournaments, Vaxxer. I think it'd be cool. All right. Let's see. Oh. So I wrote an article. Was it this morning? I can't even remember now. Let me go to my website here. No, I wrote it yesterday. I wrote an article yesterday asking, will Super Mario Party have an online mode? And basically what I said was, and if you want to check out the full article, just go to runjumpstomp.com, click on blog on the top, or actually you can just scroll down. You'll see a big Mario Party thing. Basically what I said was, look, we've had the Wii U, we had the 3DS. Both systems have online capability. Both systems have had Mario Party games. Neither game has had any online functionality. And you know, there's good reasons why you don't want online functionality. One person would say, well, the games are really, really long when you play Mario Party. So that doesn't really lend itself well to online play because people have other things to do. And then I would say, well, do you just find a way to make the game shorter? I'm sure that Nintendo could design their way around that. Then somebody might say, well, I don't think, the game is really meant to be played when you're sitting next to someone. And while I agree that's the best way to play, I want to bring in something that people often say, and that is that the best camera is the one that you have with you. Being able to play with somebody is better than not being able to play with somebody. And let's say that, like, I'm an adult, I have kids, my friends are adults, they have kids, and sure, we can play with our kids, which would be fun, and I probably will play Super Mario Party with my kids. But we can't always, like, my friends and I can't always hang out in real life because we have too much crap to do. And because we have so much stuff to do, wouldn't it be nice if me and my kids could sit down at the living room TV and connect to my friends and their kids sitting down in their living room TV, and we could say, all right, let's sit down and play a game of Mario Party. We'll open up Discord since we don't have voice, although we'll talk more about that later. And open up Discord on an iPad at the table or whatever, and we could play a game together, and that would be really cool. And that's better than not being able to play a game with my friends at all. So I wrote that article about that, and I watched a little bit of gameplay from it. And Jay Hartley replied in the comment section of the website. He said, I like the time that they take talking about those games. And it's fun. Monopoly takes way longer, and Civ Revolutions on the PS3 took all night, but my friends and I would love that, or the new one for the PS4 or Switch. Online would be great and a must today, and I'm thinking of buying it either way. Well, I also did a Twitter poll asking what people thought, and it said here that 68% said that they thought that it would have an online mode. 32% said no. Johnny LeDuc says it might, but I really don't think it needs online. And I definitely agree. It doesn't need it, but I think it would be good if it did. Craig said you just need somebody to sit at your desk to play against. Darkwing said, I feel like Nintendo must have learned their lesson by now and will include online, especially since they are getting a paid online service. And just so you know, Super Mario Party is launching the online service launches in September, and Super Mario Party launches like October 5th. So it would make sense that this game would have online, and it turns out that it does. And I found this out today after I got home from work. It actually did. It was revealed during a Twitch stream today that Mario Party, or I'm sorry, I keep saying Super Mario Party for the Nintendo Switch is going to have an online component. This was during the Treehouse. There's a link in the show notes if you want to check it out. I think that the link just says, I don't know where it is. I lost it. I can't find it, but it's there. Here, yeah, it's just Nintendo at E3 Day 3 Twitch, and then it says Super Mario Party will have online. So we are getting online. That she said that it's going to be like these 5 mini games which constantly get shuffled, and I think that that's really cool, and I'm excited for it. So there you go. Super Mario Party is the first Mario Party game that will have online. Let's see. Pudding says, today they said there is an online feature, but just for mini games. But they didn't say just for mini games. They said that it's a subset of mini games that you get to play. So that doesn't mean that it's only mini games. I don't know if we got enough information out of that. Love My Nest in chat says, I'm excited about this Mario Party. It looks more like the classic versions. I would definitely play party mode if Nintendo set up a system where CPU characters took over for players who back out or drop off. I agree, that would be a must. Maybe give characters a time limit to make decisions / roll dice. And I think that that's a great idea. And Snow Goes Ham says Mario Party Online would be amazing, and it would. And I would stream it with people from chat. So that sounds like a lot of fun too. So we have that to look forward to. All right, let's move on. Well, okay, but some games would require, like, they showed some games where you have to be in the physical world putting switches next to each other in order to do certain things, and that wouldn't make sense for online. Party. Save. It's 4:13. Okay, I gotta go faster. Gotta go fast. All right. Let me just open up this link. So who is this? Who is this person talking? Nate Bildorf. Nate Bildorf. Okay. All right, so US Gamer was interviewing somebody that works at Treehouse Localization named Nate Bildorf, and they asked, what's going on with Smash Brothers? Is this new? Is this an update to the Wii U version? And this is the question that we've all been asking ever since they first showed us that cool trailer with the Inklings fighting, and then the female Inkling turned and she saw like that big fire thing, and it was so cool, and people lost their minds, and I said, wow, you know, all that crazy stuff. And a lot of people have been asking ever since, is Smash a new game or is it an update? And I said, like, my response was always, it doesn't really matter. It's just going to be another Smash game, and we're going to buy it because it's going to be fun. That's really all that matters, is the game fun? It doesn't matter if it's an update or the Wii U version. Either way is fine with me. It's just more Smash. And Nate Bildorf was asked about this, and he said it's definitely not an update. Let's see, where does it say? It's a brand new game built from the ground up. As far as it being a sequel, I don't really think of Smash Brothers games as being sequels. They're just new Smash Brothers games. Everything has been built brand new. So everything has been built brand new, and that's awesome to hear. I watched not an interview, but one of the guys who was in the tournament, like, he posted a YouTube video. I watched it this morning while I was eating my breakfast, and he said that there were a lot of differences. And I guess Sakurai also said that there's like 10,000 changes so far that they've made to the game from the last one, like big changes. So I didn't think that there was room for 10,000 changes, but with a roster of like 60 characters, I guess it's not out of the realm of possibility. In related information, we got new artwork from Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. So you can check out if you're just listening to it, you can check out the link in the show notes at runjumpstomp.com / what is this, 198, I believe. And the artwork for Smash Brothers, man, I love what they've done here. It looks like it was painted with like a real brush or something. It looks so cool. I really, really love that cover art. And I don't want to spend too much time on it because it's an audio show and you guys can't hear it, but it looks fantastic. And this is the kind of thing I would like a poster of this. This looks so cool. Uh, Also, Smash Brothers related, since I am already talking about Smash Brothers related, Nintendo crowns their tournament winners. So the winners of Smash Brothers, Mr. Sakurai was there, and let's see, where was it? Who was the winner? I've missed it. Zero. Zero was the top player of Smash. And again, you can check this out at my website, or you can just click the link in the show notes. Sakurai showed up and congratulated him, and it was actually really fun to watch. I didn't get to watch the whole thing because it was kind of long, but one thing about the tournament that I really liked is how they changed things up. It wasn't just one-on-one all the time. Like, they made these guys partner up and fight against each other in teams, and I thought that was cool. And then the winners would have to fight each other to move on to the next bracket. I thought that was a really neat way to do it. And I think that this is one of those things where there needs to be a big prize, like I've already talked about. Needs to be a big prize for Super Smash Brothers. Is there anything else to talk about for Smash? I don't think so. So let's go ahead and move on. Smash. All right, what's next? Oh boy, Fortnite. Okay. So I've got some good news about Fortnite for the Switch and bad news. So I'm going to start with the good news first. The good news is that Fortnite for the Nintendo Switch has been downloaded over 2 million times in the first 24 hours, which is bananas. That's just crazy. And by the way, if you haven't already downloaded it, and you missed last episode. Last episode, I talked about the fact that Fortnite has voice built in, and I guess it's on now. So now you can talk to each other, and all you have to do is just plug your headphones right into your Switch, and you can talk to the other players who are on your squad, which is awesome. There is some rumors that is because certain devs have different versions of the dev kit, and the newer versions of the dev kit have the API available for voice. Now, I'm not a programmer, so I could be completely wrong about this, but what I think this means is not that Nintendo has built-in voice. There is nothing there that Nintendo's doing, but I think that they are letting developers roll their own voice scenarios. And obviously Epic thought that it was very, very important, so they have it in. And now we know the Switch can handle voice, no problem. I've heard that it's working really, really great. And the fact that we've got it from a third-party dev shows that maybe Nintendo has been listening, and they're going to finally get rid of the iOS and Android app that most people are not a fan of the iOS and Android app. I know I'm not. I'm not a fan of this being our only option. If this is just one way to do things, then that's great. But hopefully, what will really show the test of time is if a first-party game from Nintendo comes out with voice built in. I don't expect a lot of older games to turn around and put in voice if they've already been out on the Switch for a while. That might be like a lot of work for them to do that. It would certainly be worth it, and I think that just about every single developer that puts voice in their game from this point forward, like, that's going to be a big point for them. That's going to be something that it's like people are going to say almost every time. Kind of like on the Switch, almost every time a game comes out, people are like, does it have motion controls? Does it have HD Rumble? Does it have this? Does it have that? The next thing is going to be, does it have voice? Because now Fortnite has shown everybody, look, the Switch can do voice. There's no reason why it can't. So any multiplayer game, any multiplayer focused game, this is the question that people are going to be asked. And if the dev has to say no, that might turn some people away. So I almost feel like devs are going to have to figure this out. Now, a lot of people who, well, not a lot of people. How do I want to say this? The devs don't have to deal with this on Sony's platform because it's built in. Like Sony's taking care of that for them on the PlayStation. Microsoft takes care of the voice for you on the Xbox. And on PC, it's generally thought of that you're just going to use whatever you want to use, like Discord, whatever you're using for all of your other games. So most PC games just don't bother with it because they can run multiple things at the same time. Right now, we don't know if Nintendo is taking care of this for Fortnite or if Epic Games made their own. I'm very, very curious to find out which one that is. TF Wagner says, I need a headset for voice on Switch. Just use your headphones that came with your phone, man. It should work fine. You don't need to have a headset for it. Let's see. Jay Hartley says they probably won't. Let me say that again. Jay Hartley kind of responding to me saying about games that are already out is that the developers probably wouldn't want to break something in older games trying to add it. And I get that. Let's see what else. Pudding says, I want a dock with more USB ports on it. And that would make sense, but I think you can use a hub. I'm pretty sure you can use a USB hub. So, you know, no sense adding more cost to an already overpriced dock. Anyway, I think that this is really good. Now, I told you that I had good news and that I had bad news. The bad news is that Sony has responded to our criticisms. And if you haven't played Fortnite on the PS4, you might not know what the hell I'm talking about. So let me explain what's happening here. Basically, if you have ever played a Fortnite game on a PS4 and you linked your Epic account to your PS4 account, or Sony is restricting that account, and you cannot use that account on any other console. So you can use it on your phone, you can use it on your PC, you can use it on your tablet, but you cannot use it on the Switch, and you cannot use it on the Xbox One. And there's been kind of a backlash to this, and Sony has finally responded to the backlash with what I would characterize as a bunch of BS. Sony has said, here, I'm going to read it right now. They said, we're always open to hearing what the PlayStation community is interested in to enhance their gaming experience. With more than 80 million monthly active users on PlayStation Network, we've built a huge community of gamers who can play together on Fortnite and all online titles. We also offer Fortnite cross-play support with PC, Mac, and iOS, and Android devices, expanding the opportunity for Fortnite fans on PS4 to play with even more gamers on other platforms. We have nothing further to add at this point. So let's look at what they said here and break down what it means. We're always open to hearing what PlayStation community is interested in. Great, but we're not going to do anything about it. With more than 80 million monthly active users, shut up, stop advertising to me, and just answer the question, okay? We've built a huge community of gamers who can play together on Fortnite and all online titles. Again, you're advertising to me, shut up. I don't care about that. We also offer crossplay with anybody who we don't consider competitors, that being Xbox and Nintendo. So that's just nonsense. Listen, Sony, you're being jerks. This is very anti-consumer behavior. And the only thing that I can see is that the gamers, the players, the people who want to play their games, like, okay, I can understand that Sony doesn't want us to do crossplay. That's fine. This is a third-party account. The account doesn't belong to Sony. The account belongs to Epic Games and the player who owns the account. It doesn't belong to Sony. Sony not letting Epic Games allow me to use my stuff on the game that I want to play on the system that's not Sony's. Screw you, Sony. That's not cool. That's very not cool. And I am really, really ticked off by this. I also want to say this is that Fortnite is the 500-pound gorilla in the room. Fortnite is huge, and I think Epic Games has a lot more clout these days than they think they do because Fortnite is so huge. And maybe Fortnite or maybe Epic Games should put a lot more pressure on Sony. So what I would recommend you guys do is put pressure on Sony, put pressure on Epic Games to make this change. And while Epic Games might say, look, it's out of our hands because of some kind of contract or nonsense, that doesn't mean we should let up. We should keep pushing and trying to get this to change, because the fact that Sony answered the question, well, they didn't really answer the question, but the fact that Sony put out any kind of information about this is good, because they could just ignore us. Now, if we look at what people are saying here in chat, Jay Hartley says, love my PS4, but I'll consider Xbox for next gen if they don't get their act together. Pudding says, I don't consider Nintendo, Xbox, and Sony to be competitor with each other. I will be each console. I think they mean I will buy each console. I will buy each console if I like the game that's on it. Lego Lawyer, who must know about this because they're a lawyer, that says Sony probably put some fine print in the Epic Games deal to force this. Yeah, but Epic Games has lawyers too that can read that stuff, and they could object to it. Res TV says all the streamers that have 50,000 watching and then stream Fortnite on Twitch should be railing against Sony. That sort of noise will help. Yes, if we're talking about people like Ninja, who have constantly ridiculous numbers of people watching them stream, they should, you know what they should do? They should say, you know what? I'm going to start playing on Switch so that, because I don't want to play on Sony's, although they play on PC, I'm sure, but they should be railing against Sony because they can get their viewers to rail against Sony. And if we just sit here and take it, then Sony wins. They get exactly what they want. They're using their place in the their position in the marketplace. They're using their position in the marketplace to bully Epic Games, Nintendo Switch, and Microsoft into submission. And I understand not allowing crossplay. That's fine. You don't want us to play with your people. That's fine, whatever. But don't lock my stuff that I earned away from where I want to play the game, because that is nonsense. There we go. I think I made a good point there. Fortnite. Save. All right. We're going to do the rest fast because I'm out of time. All right, let's do a lightning round for the rest of these. First off, if you did not already know, the Splatoon 2 Octo expansion is live. I haven't touched it. I haven't finished the original content of Splatoon 2. In fact, I only played multiplayer of Splatoon 2, basically. So I haven't picked up the Octo expansion, and even if I did, I wouldn't have time to do it right now because it's the end of the school year, and I'm super busy. But it's live, and if you didn't know that, there you go. I think it was kind of a surprise. I thought that it was coming out later, and then they announced, hey, it's out on the 13th, which was yesterday. Freedom Planet is coming to the Nintendo Switch. Check out the link in the show notes so you can watch a quick video of it. It looks very Sonic-y, I think. Now, this is very interesting to me. And later when I have extra time, because I didn't have time to look at this before recording the show, there is about 30 minutes of Demon Ex Machina gameplay. And I never know if the X is supposed to be Cross Machina or Ex Machina, but somebody in the video said Ex Machina. And so Demon Ex Machina, it's that first game that we saw at the Nintendo E3 Direct, and it looked really interesting, that mech game, and I want to check it out. There's about 30 minutes of gameplay at the link in the show notes. So again, that's runjumpstomp.com/198 is where you will find that once the show goes live. I'm sorry, once the podcast gets uploaded and everything. Finally, I want to thank you guys for the reviews. I got a review from Kieran IOW from the UK. They said that Switchcraft is one of the best Nintendo podcasts. I listen to a lot of podcasts throughout the week. Being a taxi driver, they come in handy to pass the time. This one is my favorite podcast, and I've been listening for a while now and will keep on. Thank you. Well, thank you very much, Kyrian IOW, for the review on the UK Apple Podcast. I really appreciate it. Really big help. Lego Lawyer, beep, 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 beep. We got breaking news, people. Lego Lawyer says that the Octopath Traveler demo is out for the Nintendo Switch now. And before you download that, make sure that you know this is not a game for kids. Okay? It looks like it's a game for kids, but it's not. It's for grown-ups. Don't let your kids play it. It's really weird, dark content that goes on. All right. Finally, don't forget that if you want to watch the full show, because usually we get the condensed version out for the audio podcast. If you want the full show, there's a couple ways that you can do that. You can head on over to twitch.tv/runjumpstomp. Go there anytime, hit the follow button, and then later you'll get an alert when I go live. And if you have time, jump in, hang out with us. And that's over at twitch.tv/runjumpstomp. If you don't have time to watch stuff live, of course, follow over there on Twitch anyway. But if you don't have time to watch the show live, then you want to watch the videos afterwards when I'm done and I've recorded it and I post it up on YouTube, just head on over to youtube.com/runjumpstomp and you can watch them after. Usually I post it about an hour after I'm done recording live. It takes a while for all of the encoding and stuff to happen. Big thank you to everyone who has supported my content so far. If you're looking for a way to help me out with creating content like this, head on over to runjumpstomp.com/thank-you. Big help by doing that. If you don't want to do that, that's fine. Just review the show. That's also a huge help. All the links there over at runjumpstomp.com/thank-you are there, and they all will give you both free and easy ways to support the show, as well as ways that you can throw money at me. And now it's time to thank the live chat, because the show would not be the same without you guys. I really appreciate you hanging out with me. We've got Snow Goes Ham here, Vaxer, Attica, Disco Dave 29, Herdy Derp, Jay Hartley 17, Kimbalina 66, Lego Lawyer, Love My NES, Pudding, Res TV, TF Wagner. Res TV, by the way, is going to be on the show on Saturday, so make sure you're here for that. Tub of Popcorn, V&K, Virgo Pros, and the Lurkers. I will see you guys on Saturday. Again, I'm going to be joined by N64 Josh from the Nintendo Powercast. I'm going to be joined by Res TV from Nintendo Pulse podcast. His co-host may be joining us. I don't know. He was supposed to join us last week, but he ended up feeling sick and he wasn't up to it. And I don't know if he has time this week. But we're going to be talking about everything that happened at E3 this week for Nintendo. And I'll probably sneak in a couple other things that are not Nintendo, because I play stuff that's not Nintendo. And you know what? You should too. But anyway, I'm out of here. Make sure that you check out Tom Winter and Noteblock. They play the music that is on the audio version of this show. I will see you guys next time. Bye-bye.